चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तत्त्वकांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we are now continuing to hear our the descriptions of the genealogical order, the tables of the daughters of Manu. As we heard, the Swayambhu Manu who had 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. So this chapter here is describing the sons and daughters of these personalities. So just to give you a background, Swayambhu Manu had 5 children. So there was Uttanapad, Priyavrata, Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. These are the 5 children of Swayambhu Manu. And the Akuti was married to a great sage, Ruchi, and Devahuti is married to Kardama Muni, and Prasuti was married to Daksha. So, as we heard in this recently, that just on this chapter, the Akuti and Ruchi had 2 children, which were Yagya and Dakshina. And we also heard that when Swayambhu Manu gave his daughter to Ruchi, he made a condition with Rishi that when the child born of his daughter, he would adopt that child as his son, as a putrika dharma that was explained by Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. So then the Yagya became a adopted son of Swayambhu Manu also. Later on, Yagya and Dakshina, they get married and they have 12 children, which are known as Toshitas. And so Prasuti is married to Daksha. The description of Prasuti and Daksha's children will be described a little further in this chapter. Now going back, the daughters of Devahuti had how many daughters? 9 daughters. So these 9 daughters were married to different sages, 9 sages. The name of these daughters were Kala, who was married to Marichi. So first daughter was married to Marichi. We heard and the Kala and Marichi had 2 sons, Kashyap and Purnima. And Purnima had 3 daughters, which were Viraja, Visaga, and Devakulya, who is the Ganga. So this is the daughters, the lineage of Kala and Maruchi. That much is described at this point. So now we are beginning to hear the second daughter of Devahuti, who is Anasuya, who is married to Atri Muni. So the Atri had three sons. Three sons: Dattatreya, Soma, and Durvasa. So when this narration is being narrated by Maitreya Muni to Vidura, so when he hears these three the personalities, Dattatreya, who is the partial incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Soma is the partial representation of Lord Brahma, and the Durvasa is the partial representation of Lord Shiva. So when he hears these great personalities have appeared in through the Anasuya and Atri, Vidura is inquired how these great personalities have appeared. So we will hear a further description of this, how these pastimes. So thus far we have come to the Vidura. Maitreya Muni starts describing the actual detail how these personalities became their sons. So yesterday we heard that when Atri was instructed by Lord Brahma to start the progeny, he also similar to the instruction of when Kardama Muni received the instruction from Brahma to create, he also went in to perform austerity. Similarly, Atri Muni also, along with his wife, went to perform austerity in the mountains called Riksha, in the bank of river Nirvindya. So they went to do perform austerity before they start their progeny. They start their family. So yesterday we heard that while Atri Muni was engaged in these severe austerities, a blazing fire came out of his head by virtue of his breathing exercise, and that fire was seen by the three principal deities of the three worlds. So today we heard that at that time the three deities approached the hermitage of Atri Muni, accompanied by the denizens of heavenly planets, such as Apsaras, Gandharva, Siddha, Vidyadhara, and Naga. Thus they entered the ashram of a great sage who had become famous by austerities. So this is where we are up to today. So this is just that brief background. The Atri Rishi, he continues to live. Later on, he also takes part in Ramayana. When Lord Ramachandra was in forest, he visits the ashram of Atri Muni because the Lord Ramachandra is coming to. So these rishis were doing tapasya. So he had a desire to visit, or he's going there to actually benefit these sages by his presence. So Atri Muni was one of the sages where Lord Ramachandra visited Atri Muni. In Ramayana also we know that Lord Ramachandra actually in fact instructs Mother Sita to go to Anasuya, who is the wife of Atri, and receive an instruction on the principles or dharma of chastity, because Anasuya is highly renowned at the time of being a chaste wife, most chaste wife. So she was. Lord Ramachandra instructs Mother Sita to receive the knowledge or the instruction of the chastity or dharma of Stri dharma. So that's how we understand these personalities are taking part. These are the great sages who are our ancestors. As we get to learn from our modern education that we come from monkeys. That's not the case here. Our shastras, the scriptures is giving us the way we actually our source, where we actually start. We're coming from, not from monkeys. It's coming from. Our lineage is coming from rishis, the great rishis, which starts from Lord Brahma. Brahma is the first. So these rishis, Atri, so all these 9 rishis that Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulastya, Pulaha, Kratu, Bhrigu, Vasishta, and Atharva. These are the 9 sages who were married to these 9 daughters of Kardama Muni. So I was doing this little research on this verse, and I found Atri Muni is also author of a samhita called Atri Samhita, where he gives the instruction or the teachings of Varnashram, or Brahmanical Varna and Ashram. So I found quite interesting one topic. I was just looking for what topic do I discuss today on the Śrīmad, on this verse. So since I read this verse on the Brahmanical qualities, and Atri Rishi is a Brahman. So then I found this, what are the qualities of Brahmana? Who's Brahmana? What is the, is it Brahmana by birth? Is it Brahmana by having a body? Or is it Brahmana just because he's a living being? Or is it Brahmana by jnana? Or is it Brahmana by karma? So one quote I found in the Atri Samhita, it says, Brahma Tattvam na janati. That person who he's not aware of the so-called Brahmana who has no knowledge of scriptural knowledge. Brahma Sutrena Garvita, just by wearing a Brahman thread and becomes a proud. Garvita means proud. And he's tenaiva sacha papena vipra pashu rudharita, means he's only a sinful impostor who is no better than two-legged animal. So Brahmana, and further instruction. Some quotes I found. This is on the Bhadra Suchika Upanishad. It's asked the same questions. What is it? What makes a person a Brahman? So it gives onto this. Each is a jiva, and it says no, it's not jiva. Just because a jiva is a living being, it doesn't give a qualification to Brahmana, because it will take a number of births in the future, in the past. It takes birth into animals and plants and trees, and therefore it's not the qualification for a Brahmana. So jiva is not the qualification. Then it asks question, is it deha? Is it body? And that also says na. So the body is subject to death because it's a temporary. And therefore it doesn't qualify to be, it's not a qualification of being a brahmana. Then next question asked, is it jati? Is it by birth? Then he says, no, it's not also, it's not because of birth. And then he quotes, if it was a birth, there are personalities in the history, they are born in a very odd situation. They are not born directly, such as he gives the example of Rishi Stringi. There was a Rishi who is born from a womb of a deer. Rishi Stringi is it's a Brahman. He becomes a Rishi, but actually his birth is he takes birth from the womb of a deer. Story says that there was a Muni whose name was Bhivandaka Rishi, who was doing a tapasya. And his tapasya was so, his austerities were so great that even Lord Indra became